Dying Man. Before that was a rubber with Everyone Needs a Party. 8:11.
The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
TV on the radio.
With Hamish Coleman-Ross.
From stuff.co.nz.
Joining us from the stuff.co.nz offices today. Working hard all night, I understand. Hello to you, Hamish.
Well, working hard all morning, Wammo. Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Excellent.
Hamish CR, by the way, on Twitter. If you want to go.
Yeah, actually, I'm stopping work to talk to you for 10 minutes.
Appreciate that.
I hope my bosses do as well.
You're not just talking to me.
Well, no.
You're talking to the world.
Yeah, I know. But hopefully my bosses aren't listening or watching, because they'll be wondering why I'm not following the story that I filmed this morning, which was on NZ1 landing, the first flight out, New Zealand flight out from Europe.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering about that because I saw, I think it was TV1 promoting that they were going to be on the spot there as people got off the plane. I was like,
they were.
It's just people getting off a frickin' plane.
That
Big
was
deal.
about 6
Come on.
The TVNZ people even had a little sign that said, "Just got in from Europe. Share your stories with us."
Amazing. I mean, look, the stories are.
You know,
we had to hang around waiting for a while.
We didn't have a sign. I was out there with some of the other staff journalists. We just went and talked to people the old journalism way. You know, you just walk up to people. And one person came out, and I walked up and said, I said, "So you've just come back from London?" And he goes, yes. And I got talking to him, and then one of the other reporters said, "Oh, how did you know he's from London?" I went, "Well, the big giant Hamleys bag did kind of give it away." Hamleys? What's Hamleys? And you're like, So much to learn, but so much going on in the TV world this week too. Golly, it's been interesting.
Rove and Campbell.
Yeah, this was really odd. They had this kind of, I can't remember if it was the end of last week or Monday, but I remember catching a pro and it said, on Wednesday, Campbell Live will change, and it was kind of like, what's going to happen? I thought maybe it was going to be a new set, but I asked someone at 3 and they said, no, it's nothing that exciting. And I said, do you know what it is? I said, yeah. They said, it's not all that amazing, but, all will be revealed. And then they did, and they said, Rove McManus, of course, from the Australian show Rove, hosted half the show. I
saw the promo for it during the news, which was, it was kind of funny.
Well, the thing was, he got up there and he was sort of doing the thing was, it wasn't Rove doing anything. It was just him kind of sitting there in for Campbell, and then they had this kind of bromance moments. And I mean, to be honest, they looked like they just wanted to make out with each other.
It's an ongoing thing, eh?
But they've kind of promoted it as their ongoing thing now, and I just think I don't know. It doesn't spin my wheels. I don't know why anybody cares. I don't know why it would be of interest to anybody, especially from a viewer's point of view. Rove and Campbell are such good mates that they kind of look longingly at each other on live TV at 7 o'clock. Oh, whoop-de bloody do.
It is something that they possibly need to rethink, because it's all a bit of an in-joke that we're not really part of.
Yeah, it's not, and I guess that that's the point, that they're maybe failing. And then John had a kind of an interview with him in the second part, talking to him about, how was, that when you left your show and everything, and he goes, well, remember, John, I called you 2 days before, thanks for all your advice. And I was like, what the hell is this? And what kind of pissed me off about it was they just totally took the viewer for granted, and it's like, I didn't find it particularly entertaining, I didn't find it particularly informative, it just looked like a couple of mates goofing around on a TV show. If I wanted that, I'd stick in reruns of Havoc and Newsboy.
Be interesting to see what the ratings say.
Well, it will be interesting to see. I'm sure that it'll probably get a good spike, and in fact, those ratings will be out now, I haven't looked, but I'd say it probably would have, because, well, people love Rove.
People do love Rove. I'm going to see Rove tonight, I think, at the Comedy Fest Scala.
Did you get some free tickets?
He's presenting it, yes.
Because I'm going to say, $90 to go see that thing.
Yeah.
That's expensive. For comedy, I think it's expensive.
Hey, how about your people talk to some other people's people?
Yeah, maybe we'll see what happens. So the other thing is that happening locally is we've got TVNZ On Demand has now jumped over onto PlayStation 3. Which is
this is good news.
I think it is. I think it's huge news. I think it's great for PlayStation. I think using another platform to deliver the media is always exciting.
But here's the thing, bridging the gap between your computer, where you normally see stuff on the internet, through to the big box in the living room. This is
the one.
Yeah.
And I think a PlayStation 3 is just turning into a magical machine of multiple applications. And that's probably a very, very good thing. I'll be really interested to see how that develops for TVNZ On Demand, because sometimes I found that the quality for On Demand is never quite as good as if I was to watch the actual broadcast, and it's always kind of irked me a bit. Why can't I have, a decent quality on my info web? So it'd be quite interesting to see how, if there's anything differently that they've done with the PlayStation 3 application, but really, really great thing to see TVNZ putting, their support behind digital.
I have seen one complaint about it from someone who was trying to watch The Pacific on their PlayStation through TVNZ On Demand, and they reckon, because it's broken up into 7 parts, because you've got to have an ad
Right, of course.
in those 7 parts, and they reckon a whole bunch of stuff was missing.
Yeah, well, we've had the Pacific was quite heavily edited from the original version.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if that's because, obviously, because the Pacific will end up coming out on DVD, like Band of Brothers did,
Sure.
and it's sold massive, amounts on DVD. So are they trying to say, well, okay, we'll give you a little bit of the Pacific free, but really, at the end of the day, once it's gone on TV, you've got to buy the DVD if you want to see the whole thing.
there probably is some agreement like that. Probably the only original one that you can see is on HBO.
Yeah.
Or on the DVD.
Yeah.
And so be it, golly, it's up to them what they want to do with it, to be honest. HBO is a marketing machine, and I don't kind of mind it if at the end of the day I get awesome television productions. And let's be honest, that ain't cheap and they don't make themselves.
Talking about great TV productions that I was hoping to see more of soon was Torchwood, the spin-off from Doctor Who.
Yeah, so Torchwood, spin-off Doctor Who, did 3 very successful seasons in the UK. I guess Doctor Who's always kind of eclipsed it, and Russell T Davies, who was the showrunner for that, was looking to shift on over to LA. I guess he'd kind of hit that glass ceiling that is British television. And the vehicle that it looked like he was going to get over there with first was a US-based version of Torchwood. And there was even words that the lead actor, Captain Jack, on that was going to be in this US-based version, and it was going to be on Fox, which was interesting. They have a varied history of supporting sci-fi projects. I guess things like Firefly, that was commended for its originality, and then just was ratings bomb because it wasn't really supported by the network. So this was Fox, and Fox turned around and said to Russell, "No, sorry, can it?"
Why did they give a reason? Do we know?
No, there was no reason given. That's been the slightly odd thing in this scenario, was that there wasn't really any reason given. You try to theorise, and we know for a fact that the lead character, for instance, is an open bisexual, and you say, well, is that an issue for a conservative network like Fox? I don't think so, considering at the moment they've probably got the most gay-friendly show on earth playing on there, which is
Fox and Friends.
Glee.
I thought you were going to say Fox and Friends.
Fox and Friends. Fox and Friends. Special friends.
What was the show that you said?
Glee.
Glee. Oh, of course, yeah. Is that
so,
Fox? Right. Okay.
So, they've got Glee, and it's a very homo-friendly show, so, why would that be a reason for Torchwood? I don't think it is. I don't know what it is, mate. Maybe they just couldn't quite get it, but apparently they're shopping it around to other networks.
Oh, someone will snap it up.
Yeah, someone will take it. Russell T Davies is too much of a talent just to leave floating around in the wilderness. So we'll see what happens on that one. I'm sure something will.
Saying with oddness overseas, Southpark is in the gun, so to speak.
Southpark is in the hairlines of Muslim extremists.
What have they done to offend this time?
They're just sick of them. They're just because if you remember the depiction of the Prophet Muhammad, they had a violent Prophet Muhammad in a bear suit during an episode shown in the US last week.
Now we know what happened with the Danish cartoons.
Yeah, well, the Dutch filmmaker who was murdered in 2004. We had a Muslim depicting I think it was a Muslim woman rejecting the Prophet Muhammad as a guide to today's morality or something.
Yeah.
But this has been cited as too much by the extremist Muslims, and we must stress extremist Muslims.
But at the same time, I mean, they did the same thing to the Pope and got the same reaction from the Catholics. Yeah.
I guess that's the thing. Like South Park's a pretty confronting TV show. I'm a huge fan. But I think that if people are going to be baited so easily, they're just being idiotic. It's satire. It's clearly satire. And I don't think South Park's ever professed to be anything else. I've
heard also just screened last week a South Park episode, or this week, one about social media, Facebooking and whatnot. Apparently it's very good. I haven't seen it, but it's going to be coming soon here, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I think that's just well open. But I think people like the Southpark boys, Matt and Trey, that they've offended probably just about everybody on earth at some point, shape, or form. You know, I've watched stuff and I've gone, no. And I don't really see anything wrong with it. I think that's what it is, and maybe more than anything, it's a cultural issue. But if television's not polarising people in some way, shape, or form, then it's not doing its job.
Yeah, if it's the last thing you want to do is be sitting in front of wallpaper.
Well, exactly, and I guess that's what people try to do. I remember when we had the English bloke Joel that was a host on C4 for a long time.
Yeah.
They reckoned that his fan mail versus his hate mail was about 50-50.
Huh.
And that was cited as just being a great thing.
Yep.
And same with people like Paul Henry.
Yep.
Who's on TV right now. I'm not watching it.
Nor am I.
I'm actually watching I've got the leaders debate from Britain in the background at the moment.
Oh.
It looks really exciting.
Yeah. How very newsy of you. Thanks.
Oh, very newsy.
Thanks very much, Hamish Coleman-Ross.
Thanks very much.
Hamish CR on Twitter, and also check out his video work up at stuff.co.nz.